All right, so mate, I finally got here to Burbank. I had to stop off somewhere to pick up a special guest. Weapon X, what's up? So, two of the Monster Squads, Chris and Scott.
Where'd they go?
Unfortunately, couldn't be here today. I don't know what they're doing. Probably busy, but we're holding it down. Burbank, Dark Delicacies, another signing for
Lionsgate, right?
Yeah, Lionsgate, right there. LionHeart, king of the jungle. Van Damme classic, right? Owned that sucker on VHS. Used to watch it all the time. My buddy me and Frank get quoted to this day. I'll get you back in LA. You know, if you've seen the movie, you know exactly what we're talking about. But yeah, and another special guest will be there too, right?
Another cult classic, kickboxer.
Absolutely. That's right, Tong Po himself. Yes. If you've seen that movie, dude, you already know we're excited. So, being a kung fu fan, just a karate fan, just watching Van Damme movies when I was younger. Bruce Lee movies, you know, and then progressively moving on to like Jackie Chan and and all the other ones. But early on was Van Damme and his slow ass fighting, you know. It's true though. You watch those fight scenes back in the day, like, man, why does he fight so slow? Why is everyone just standing there? But yeah, Lionheart to me is the original Street Fighter because he's actually a Street Fighter in that movie.
That is
and
true.
in the Street Fighter movie, he's playing Guile, who's an American.
Yeah, that was always kind of weird.
Yeah, Guile's, Van Damme's what? He's from the Brussels from Brussels.
I guess they took a maximum risk casting him in that role, huh?
Here we go. Bong. Yep, the pun counter right
Ding.
there. That's true. You're right, though. They did. But I'm just looking at the time right now. We got a crunch time. Being a little time cop. Make sure we don't run out of time. Make sure we get there on time.
Nice.
But yeah, so no, it's gonna be fun. They have a Q&A, which is exciting because normally it's just a signing, I know.
So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, so we'll ask some cool questions and hopefully we can record most of it. Hopefully there's good audio, Sometimes with these Q&As, you can never tell how good the audio comes out. So,
let's hope for the best.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we killed some time. It's almost time to get in there. We got 30 minutes before the signing starts. I don't know what he's doing back there, but we just gotta go to our car, get some stuff. And real quick, I just want to thank all my new subscribers I just gotten recently. After that Halloween trailer reaction, I got a bunch of new subscribers. So I want to thank you guys for subscribing. Really appreciate it. And are you ready? You good to go?
I'm good.
All right, let's go.
Hello. How are you?
About that time. The LionHeart Blu-ray signing with director Sheldon Litek, Harrison Page, Paco Christian, Jeff Langton, and Michael Keys, the Tong Po himself. Oh, it's gonna be awesome. Setting up the Q&A right over here. We got the chairs and the poster. You got the wet one, the wet stuff first. All right, so we're here, Dark Delicacies. Look who's here. What's the wet one? What's going on, man?
Nothing, man. Just trying to keep it wet.
That's true. You're a big Van Damme fan, huh?
Oh, yeah, martial arts fan in general,
Absolutely, yeah.
Like best of the best. I grew up. I know it's not a Van Damme movie, but like stuff like that. And the old Hong Kong stuff is what I like the most.
Absolutely. And but yeah, like when he first started, he had almost like a trilogy, right? It was like Death Warrant, Lionheart, Double Impact. He was knocking him out of the park. He was doing really well.
You remember that one he did with what's his name? That basketball player.
Dennis Rodman, Double Team.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. Wasn't Mickey Rourke the bad guy? They're fighting like a tiger. Remember, Mickey Rourke was like huge in that movie. I think that was him, the bad guy, right? Double Team. Mickey Rourke, wasn't he the bad guy?
I don't even remember that.
This guy don't even know. He don't even know.
For some reason, I couldn't remember that one either.
It was just weird, that weird time when like everybody was hooking up with like different, like remember like DMX was like doing a movie with Jet Li.
Yeah.
Right, and then there was like Steven Seagal with like Keenan Ivory Wayans. It was like this weird mashup of like hip hop and
martial arts stuff. Yeah.
Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker started it all. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but Double T, yeah, there was another one too. They did, he did another one with Rob Schneider, Knockoff or whatever. He had to like have a funny comedian, he had to do something.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's when he was kind of like tailing off, because like Universal Soldier, Time Cop is like when he blew up. That's like the height, right?
I never really liked the second Universal Soldier one.
No, I didn't like that one either, with Goldberg and everybody in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was one like Regeneration, or the fourth one with like Arlovsky.
Yeah.
That was a good one. I think Dolph came back for that one, right? Even though they were in it for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one. Regeneration, I think it was called. But other than that, no. But I remember seeing Universal Soldier in the theater. I even saw a Knockoff in the theater. But I was telling to Christian, I was like, I couldn't believe, like for some reason after that, he just fizzled out. I don't know why. He was like, what was the one
For some reason,
with
the
Horace
only-
Booth, the hockey.
Oh yeah,
Sudden Death?
Yeah, no, Sudden Death. Yeah,
Yeah, that was a
that's
good one.
that's the only one I can remember seeing in theaters.
That was the only one. Yeah.
That I can remember
Right.
seeing in theaters.
Because the one with Maximum Risk with Natasha Henstridge, was that in theater? Do you remember that?
That was
movie?
a theater movie, but I don't remember seeing it in theaters.
Yeah, see, I don't remember either. But yeah, man, he had some hits, you know. So when he came back for Expendables 2, I was so stoked. I was like, what? This is what we wanted to see. We needed Van Damme back, and he came back, and he played a great villain. I thought he was a great villain.
Oh,
You know?
he's always cool.
Yeah. So.
But I heard he's a little cocky asshole though.
Is he?
That's what I heard. But from like different little video clips and people talking about him. But I don't know.
See,
I guess we'll find out from these guys.
Why you gotta do that? You gonna ask that? You should ask that.
No, I'm not gonna ask.
A lot of TV and Jag and Sledgehammer, ER, all that good stuff. Yeah. So Sheldon Lenich, of course, wrote Bloodsport, and of course wrote and or directed Rambo 3, Lionheart, Double Impact, The Order, among others. Jeff Langton, lifelong martial artist and boxer, Martial Arts Hall of Fame. He played Sonny, who was the garage fighter. Very famous line of film.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And we got Stuart Wilson, who actually joined us today, thanks to Jeff. And Stuart was in the garage. He played the Scottish fighter.
Nice.
And then, special shout out over here, casting director James Tarzia, who did all of your movies, right?
Well, he did a number of them. He did. James did. He did Lionheart, Double Impact, Only the Strong, Perfect Target. Okay.
The Best of the Best series for all the martial arts fans.
James, Jim did casting on the Best of the Best movies.
Yeah.
So he was like he just became by default the martial arts casting guy.
All right, so let's just get started. So basically, I mean, Sheldon, you were probably on this movie earliest before anybody was. Tell us how you got involved with Lionheart.
Well, this was Jean-Claude and I had not met before he did Bloodsport, and I spoke to him on the phone from Hong Kong. He was in Hong Kong shooting, and we kind of hit it off on the phone. And I said, "Hey, look, when you're back in LA, come by and see me." And I think like the day after he came back to LA, he and his wife came over to my apartment, and we just hit it off with him and his wife, and my wife got along great with his wife. So we just got to be pals, and we wanted to do something else together, and came up with this idea. He and I were both fans of a Walter Hill movie called Hard Times. Anybody, you guys know Hard Times? Charles Bronson.
Yeah, amazing.
And Charles Bronson is this street fighter, and his manager is played by
James Coburn.
James Coburn. So, anyways, we're both fans of this thing, and we're talking about doing something in the vein. We wanted to do something like Bloodsport that had fights. It had a better reason for the fights. Actually, Bloodsport had a pretty damn good reason for the fights, when you think of it. And he came up with this idea about the, and we were both in the Foreign Legion stuff. I was writing a script for Sylvester Stallone at the time, French Foreign Legion scripts. And actually, I got Jean-Claude to help me with some of the more colorful French expressions. So we're talking Foreign Legion, we're talking Hard Times, we're talking Bloodsport. Let's do something that's got fights in it. And somewhere in between all of that, we came up with Lionheart. He came up with the story about the sister-in-law, the little girl, his brother gets killed, all of that stuff, and deserts the Foreign Legion so he can come to America and help his brother. And he pitched this to Sunil Shah, our producer on it. And Sunil was a little shaky at first until Bloodsport opened and did really well, and suddenly everybody wanted Jean-Claude for low-budget movies. They wanted him to do. They thought he was just a karate guy. And originally, Eric Carson was going to direct it. It was called The Wrong Bet. In fact, right there, you see, here we can go through a little bit of the genesis. The Wrong Bet was the original title. And in fact, this poster was the poster that they used to sell the movie. And you notice that Jean-Claude's hair and that, actually all of these, his hair is not the way that it was in LionHeart because these were shot before we ever even had a script. We just had, he just had this idea, wrong bet. And that was another part of it that was very important, was his manager, who originally would have been the James Coburn character and now became Harrison Page. His manager bets against him in the final fight. And that was this line that he was just dying to deliver, which is wrong bet. And he delivers it really well in the movie. And then Harrison, of course, ends up yelling, "LionHeart!" We had this movie, Wrong Bet. Eric was going to direct it. I was not involved at the time, but Jean-Claude and I came up with the story. We basically sat in this old coffee shop on Sunset Boulevard called Ben Frank's. We were in Ben Frank's for 3 hours because he had told me the idea about, the brother gets killed, the sister-in-law, Foreign Legion. So we started coming up with more and more ideas, and that's where we came up with the idea for Cynthia, also like our sort of femme fatale character who's overseeing all the fights. And we came up with a lot of the ideas. A lot of the stuff that ended up in the movie, we came up with in this 3-hour session that we had sitting at Ben Frank's. And a funny footnote to our Ben Frank's meeting, you see a couple of sheriff's deputies walking into Ben Frank's, and they come over to the table and they say, yeah, you guys have been here for too long. We've got complaints from the management. And you're gonna have to leave. And we did, not without making a bit of a fuss about it, but we actually got kicked out because we were in there for 3 hours, and we were in there, hey, dude, we're coming up with a hit movie, all right? You can't kick us out, but we left. And then Jean-Claude pitched this to Sunil. Sunil had just made a movie with Eric Carson called Angel Town. And Eric had directed a Chuck Norris movie. I forgot the name of it.
The Octagon.
The Octagon, okay. I got my...
Get the IMDb over here.
This is my, look it up on Google. I got Ubian to help me out here. So Eric brought in a writer, because you notice on the credits there's based on a screenplay by S.N. Warren, and that was, I think her name was Samantha Warren or something like that. She wrote a screenplay. Jean-Claude hated it. Everybody kind of hated it. So then Sunil was just nervous about me because I didn't have a big name at the time. I'd written Bloodsport, but Bloodsport was not a big deal at first. When it came out, it did. Hey, Paco!
Paco Christian Prieto, who was the pool fighter, and also Silverio, the villain in Only the Show.
Anyways, is this boring here? Is this
No.
liking this? Okay.
Absolutely not.
This is
Very interesting.
Why this
Very
wrong
interesting.
bet and why Jean-Claude's hair does not look correct in any of the posters, actually. He's got this slick back, like 1920s gangster hair in all of these. So then I was brought in to do a rewrite on the script. Everybody liked the script that I wrote. Jean-Claude convinced Sunil to let me direct the movie. And next thing you know, we're casting, and then we're making a movie. Now, casting, hang on a second. We had 2 different kinds of casting sessions because we had so many fights. We actually had, we got Jim Tarzia, who, Jimmy over there. Jim was doing our casting of actors. And then we had our fight choreographers. Michelle Casey's going to be here soon. And we also had this guy, Frank Dukes, who Bloodsport is allegedly about. And so Frank and Michelle were the fight choreographers. and we did auditions at Frank's dojo. He had a dojo in North Hollywood, not that far from here. And they had an open call for fighters who want to be in a movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme. By now, people had seen Bloodsport, No Retreat, No Surrender. So this was kind of a cool thing to be a fighter in a Van Damme movie. And we had a sign-in sheet, and we had over 1,000 fighters show up that day. And Frank and Michelle would kind of take them through the paces to see if they really knew how to fight. And a lot of them were pretty much full of it. I didn't know what the hell they were doing. But we found a number of good ones, and among them, because I'd never met this guy before, Paco. I'd never met Stuart Wilson. I'd never met Jeff.
No,
We had met before?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But Frank is the one who brought Jeff in.
Right.
And we liked Jeff, so we ended up casting him as one of the fighters. So that was how we assembled our fighters, and we had quite a few people that were really good. And one thing I wanted was for all of them to be very distinctive, so that we wouldn't confuse the guy who fights in the pool with the guy who fights in the garage. We wanted them to have a completely different look, different persona, different fighting style. I think that worked out pretty well. People basically, nobody gets the fighters mixed up in LionHeart. Just like in Bloodsport, you don't really get the fighters mixed up.
Well, we have so many fighters. We'll start with Harrison really quick, talking about the co-stars, and you're really kind of like a heart of this, like the whole LionHeart. Like you're like the heart of this movie. You name him. You're this great kind of mentor / kind of brother to him. Kind of tell us how you got involved with the film and kind of what was on the page and what did you bring to it.
Let me just tell you how we cast Harrison.
All right.
Everybody wants to tell how I was cast.
I love this one. We've got all these actors coming in to read for the role of Joshua. And they're all sitting in their chairs, they're reading their lines. And there's one guy sitting on the floor, like basically like some homeless guy who just wandered in. And I'm looking down and like, is this one of our prospective actors? Is this just some guy who wandered in? And that was Harrison was just getting into character. He was getting into character, and he gave us this this amazing reading. And the one thing I remember about I taped all these auditions, and he does this in the movie too. He says, "You got a lot of heart, LionHeart," and he did that in the audition. And Jean-Claude and I just went wild over that. We were saying basically, hey, that's the guy. So that's how Harrison got cast. And these other guys I told you about. And Deborah Renard got, who was Jim? There was a kind of a famous soap opera actress that was also.
There were several actresses that you did not meet.
Okay.
Before, because I had to pre-read everybody.
Right.
Okay, because Ash wanted them pre-read. So you saw Heather Locklear.
I saw Heather, right.
Heather, but you didn't see Sandra Bullock?
No.
You didn't see, there were a couple of others that you didn't see because they felt that they weren't strong enough.
Whoa.
Because they wanted real actors because of Jean-Claude.
Right.
Because Jean-Claude, great fighter, not great actor. He's a sweet man.
Although, this is the film that tops his game, because prior to LionHeart, Jean-Claude really was, and I don't mean for this to sound disparaging, but he was basically another Olivier Gruner.
Yeah.
He was just a guy who, he can kick, he can punch, he looks really good, he's got muscles, but he's no actor. Well, what Jim brought to the table here, and this shows how a casting director can be really important. Jim made sure that we surrounded him with good actors, like Harrison, like Deborah Renard, and everybody else was in that movie.
Deborah Renard walked in and she was just pure sex.
Oh, really?
Yes, she just walked in, she was pure sex. She was very dressed, very sexy.
Right.
Which of course,
But very strong also. Hey,
yes.
Deborah, hi.
So she was hot.
Still is.
And there was, if we can get a screening together here of Lionheart, and we did one, Uvian and I did one in Texas, in Austin, at what's it called, the
Alamo Draft House.
Huh?
Alamo Draft
Alamo
House.
Draft House. And we had, there was a print, a 35mm print that they got from the Motion Picture Academy. So, what the hell is a 35mm print of Lionheart? So we want to do that here in LA. And if we do that, then we'll probably get, I'll probably get, Deborah lives in New York now. It'd be cool to see Deborah, not just a bunch of guys, you know, what we usually do it. The little girl who played Nicole, Ashley Johnson, she's become kind of a big deal. She's in, I know she's in the Avengers. She played Mel Gibson's daughter in What Women Want. She's been working. She played Annie a couple times, I think, because you know, actually people would laugh about that when they saw the movie because she looked so much like Little Orphan Annie, and she actually ended up being in a TV version of Annie. But now she's doing. You look up Ashley Johnson. She's doing all kinds of stuff.
You want to know who didn't get cast? Scarlett Johansson.
What?
Should have come in, Natalie Portman.
No. Oh no, really? Really? This is
All right, it all comes out now.
behind the scenes, huh? Behind the scenes. Oh my God.
They didn't get cast. Those are the two who didn't come in.
Oh man.
They didn't even come in.
They were there for the pre-read. Ash didn't like them. Out they went.
Okay. Okay. Well, we did
They
pretty
did
good
pretty
with
well
Ashley.
as child actors.
What's that?
They did very well because Ashley Johnson didn't have a big resume,
Right.
but she won you over.
Right. Yes, she did. Yeah, she was great. Okay.
Okay, what do you want me to say?
That was I mean, did you read the script right away, connected to it, or just had your take on the character right away, or?
No, I read the script, and you know, I made some decisions from the script, and I had to. The thing about acting is, you know, the actor has the power. He has the control. It's how he wants to do it, based upon his own experience in life. When I read the script, I saw this guy. I saw him. I saw how he was dressed. I saw my father. My father was a musician in New York in the 40s. And he stuttered. And he played piano and he sang, but he stuttered when he talked. So I got that from him. You know, hey, son, don't, now.
You notice this?
A word. He never actually made sense.
But you understood him.
Huh?
But you understood
But
him.
I understood
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Most people didn't. What you saying? So I got that from him, and it was, I kind of came in with a kind of rhythm for it, and I had to play this street urchin, and street urchins are always going someplace laying down. They always lay down. So you see them in the street, they're on the sidewalk, or they're in the stores or wherever, and they're laying on the floor. So I said, yeah, let me get this thing. And when he was talking about my laying on the floor, I was laying on the floor because I wanted to get that feeling of being homeless. He was also a really fast talker. You know, these guys, you know, having spent time around them, they talk fast because they want something. They're trying to get something from you. They're soliciting all the time. So I had to come up with that. I also had to come up with something a little bit more, and that was the humor and the vulnerability of the character. He was a street guy, but deep down inside of him was a real emotional human being. And I had to bring all that with me when I went into the reading. So I did that, and I guess those guys liked it, and that's how I got the role. I also did something very strange because my wife was like, "What are you doing?" and she also, you know, I was talking to myself a lot, which is I still do that. And I was as I was going out the door, I was the character going out the door. I had on this kind of Columbo raincoat and a hat, and when I walked out the front door, and I saw the dirt outside my house, And I said, oh yeah, hey, my fingers are too clean.
Play some piano.
Yeah. Put my fingers in the dirt out there, and got stuff on my fingers, so I felt grimy. But one of the things I got when I stuck my hand in the dirt was cat shit. I don't know whether they smelled it or not.
Did I shake hands with you that day?
No. I didn't shake hands with everybody. But I got cat shit in my hands. I said, well, okay, fine. And I went in with that. And that's how I got the part. And it's not just, you know.
It was good luck.
Huh?
The shit was good luck.
Yeah, good luck. It's good luck. It's good luck. He said good luck. That's not in the script. You know, I said, you wouldn't give it to me then. And he said, stop talking. And we said, whoa, cut. Remember that?
Right.
Yeah. What's going on? He didn't want me to talk so much. And I knew that I had to talk in order to make that thing work. And he was so annoyed. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to annoy the shit out of him. You know, so that he would
Get a reaction.
And so that's what happened on the film. Whatever you see on that film is happening right there.
I met Jean-Claude. We met in the back of his gym, and me and Jean-Claude, we had a little dispute about boxing, and we wanted to figure that out in the long run. And we became, you know,
This
friends.
is
And
prior to Bloodsport.
prior to Bloodsport, yes. And then, so we had a relationship, and Michelle, which you guys will be seeing, he came over with Jean-Claude Van Damme. They both came on, they couldn't speak English, so let's see how Michelle does tonight. I'm sure that if anybody speaks French in here, he speaks French and Arabic, and then Karen is a lovely lady that, you know, helps them out.
Everybody, sorry.
Yeah, she met Michelle through me. But anyway, getting back to the LionHeart thing, we went out and we tried out, and I had a van. I was over at Benny the Jets in an old orange van. You remember the old orange van? Okay, and I loaded everybody in the van. I had Mark Delisandros, I had Billy Blanks, I had the Weaver triplets, I had everybody. We drove over to
Coldwater
Oh, Frank's Dojo.
Yeah, Coldwater, like Van Horn or something.
So
like
then
that,
Sheldon was there. He had his lights set up, and he had his 8mm at the time. It wasn't a VHS. And so we went out there, and we all got out. Okay, Michelle was the guy we get out there and move around and show your boxing skills, show what you can do, and show all this stuff. So I did my thing, and then I said, okay, cool, you know, and I loaded everybody up in the van, and then we all got calls, and next thing you know, we're shooting this movie, and we shot it out in Encino at some bank. Was it at a
Yeah,
bank?
It was,
Ventura Boulevard.
your scene we shot,
Ventura
it was on
Boulevard.
Ventura Boulevard
Yeah.
and Encino.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in the bank. It was
The bank parking lot. Mine was in some studio
It's
out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it was like somewhere in like an industrial part
Yeah.
of LA.
Yeah.
Okay, so we get on the set, and then my roommate at the time, it was named Satch Williams, and God rest his soul, he passed away.
He
He's
did?
not with- Yeah, Satch passed away, God rest his soul.
Wow.
I loved him very much, he's not with us anymore. And I told Satch was my roommate, and I said, hey Satch, I need a guy that I can beat up. How'd you like to do it? And he goes, what, you gonna beat me up? I said, well, you get money for it. He goes, you know you can't beat me up. I said, well, we can pretend, right?
It's a movie. It's a movie. Pretend, Satch.
So we get him out there, and Satch, I said, Satch, listen, this is history. I said, Satch, you're gonna have to wear some pads, because you're gonna be going down on the ground. He goes, oh no, man, I'm not gonna wear no pads, man. I'm a strong guy and everything. I said, okay.
And you give him in that fight, you give him a really good kick in the nuts
Right,
from
and I said-
behind, and he goes "Whoa," like
Right,
that,
and I
and
said-
he must have been wearing a cup.
Yeah, he did. He had
Okay.
a cup on.
All right.
And then I said to him, I said, let's do lunch sometime. Frank Dukes thought that one. Me and Frank were in the battle of who can come up with the most corniest line in the world, but it worked. So we do the fight scene, get it on, and all this stuff. And matter of fact, this little history about LionHeart. You know the guy that pulls us together and says there is no rules. Remember?
Oh, the Lenny, the two bookies.
Yeah,
The one of them.
Jack Carter
Okay, one of
Jack Carter.
and Lonnie Burke.
One of these guys was a Mickey Mouse guy.
Right, Lonnie Burke.
Lonnie Burke was a Mickey Mouse, and Lenny.
I'm learning all this shit today.
Jack Carter.
So anyway, he goes.
They
That was,
call him Shelley.
yeah. I said, hey, you on the Mickey Mouse Club? That was one of my favorite shows. I mean, did you ever, get with Annette? If anybody knows who Annette Funicello is.
I
But
think
anyway,
everybody's too
moving
young
on.
for it. I think they're too young for it. You guys haven't seen Mickey Mouse Club, right?
Okay,
No, they
Captain
don't.
Kangaroo?
No, they have no
Okay,
clue.
forget it.
Forget about it.
Wipe that.
Forget it.
We'll get to Bewitched when we get to
Children.
him.
What's it do? Oh my goodness.
Okay, but, so what was that?
Mickey Mouse.
So they gotta
Mickey Mouse.
separate, yeah.
So we separated, so then we came up with this, in Raging Bull, I don't wanna take 100, I wanna be honest. Raging Bull, that guy said, hey, I didn't know if I wanna fight him or kiss him, all right? That's where that came in, and I said, hey, Frank, man, I should say to Van Damme, because he's pretty. So why not say, hey, you're kind of pretty. I don't know if I should fight you or F you. and then Frank goes, that's brilliant. Let's do it. so we go over to Sheldon, and Sheldon goes, sounds good to me. So Sheldon goes,
I love the line.
yes, he said, sounds good to me. Hey, does everybody know who this guy is?
Yeah.
This is Michelle or Mohammed Quasi,
Good.
aka Pong Po.
Oh,
And everybody else, he's a wonderful guy. He's been my friend. God bless him. He was the one actually beating everybody up to get the job. Thank you for the job. Even though he's late.
Nice to meet you.
We'll talk about that later. It's traffic in LA, right? It's always LA 5.
Sorry, I apologize.
Don't worry.
So now, while we're talking about fights, the two fight choreographers, it was Michelle and Frank Dukes came up with those fights, and they did a fantastic job. Certainly has gone on to do. Actually, Michelle goes way back with Jean-Claude. I think you guys met when you were teenagers or even before that, right, in Belgium?
Yeah. First of all, I would like to say the one who did a wonderful job, the best, is Sheldon Lettich. We have a round of applause. He wrote the movie. He directed.
But I couldn't have done those fights because I'm not a fighter. I'm not a martial artist. I can only say, yeah, I want to see them kind of do this and then move to here, and then I want to see, and basically, Michelle would come up with the actual move, and he did that in Bloodsport also. Michelle's also in Bloodsport. He's one of the fighters in Bloodsport.
They kickboxing too.
yeah.
Yeah, right. Tung Po. It's Tung Po and Kickboxer, and then I'm thinking of some of the Kickboxer sequels, right?
Yeah, the number 2.
Oh, okay.
Kickboxer 2 and Kickboxer 1. And yes, I met Jean-Claude when I was 7 years old.
7 years old. Okay.
He was 9. So in Belgium, his real name is Jean-Claude Van Warenberg. And just one day, someone said, because our first name when we came in Hollywood in 1982, because actually I was born in Morocco, I'm originally from Morocco, and in 62, so I'm 55, and in 1964, we went in Belgium. So I did my preschool in Belgium. And then when I was 7, I met Jean-Claude Van Damme, his real name Van Warenberg, and we grew up together. He was doing martial arts, I was doing boxing. We helped each other, teach me some karate, I teach him some boxing. And then we had the same idols, Muhammad Ali and Bruce Lee. And then we had that same passion to go to Hollywood and make movies, while everybody thought we were going crazy because we couldn't speak one word English. We didn't have our working visa, and they said to us, especially our very close, like our family, saying, I mean, you have American people over there in Hollywood, and they're struggling, and they have the right to work, and they have their language, their English, and I mean, just stay in Belgium, find a job, like everybody, a monthly payment, and especially me, it's like we come from a culture, tradition where we get married between 18 and 20, and I got married when I was 40, because just so passionate of, being in movies. So basically,
Well, let me add something about Michelle too. So you know that while we're on the subject of Lionheart, the villain, not the villain. See, we don't have a real villain in Lionheart. Maybe Cynthia is the sort of the villain, but the final fighter, Attila, that's Michelle's brother. His name's Abdel Kisi. So that's how we found Abdel. So he wasn't part of the casting here. Jean-Claude and Michelle were just telling me, we got the perfect guy to play Attila. Okay, Michelle's brother. Where did you see this guy? This guy's a beast, and he is. He's a beast. And we ended up using Abdel again on the Order, and Jean-Claude used Abdel in The Quest. And has there been another one that Abdel was in also, or is it those three?
The Quest, The Order,
And Lionheart.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to talk about the fights? Oh, actually, we got Stuart Wilson here too. Stuart is the Scottish fighter that they fight in that Ring of Cars. I think Jean-Claude's the one who came up.
He did on the last minute with that kilt bit, yeah.
Yeah, the kilt bit, but also the Ring of Cars.
Oh, okay.
You know, we came up with these different venues, one of these different venues for the fights. I don't know where I got this crazy idea that they should fight in a swimming pool. I came up with that one, with this half-empty swimming pool with Paco and Jean-Claude fighting there. Then we had this Ring of Cars. That was Jean-Claude's idea. Like, there's a ring of cars. They've all got their headlights on, and I'm going to fight some guy in the middle. And we didn't have in the script. I don't think we had Scottish fighter.
No,
written.
it wasn't. That was that day that he came up with the kilt.
Well, Jean-Claude
If you've
did.
never worn a kilt before,
And then Harrison improv'd a line too, like.
oh, what's under his skirt or something? Yeah, check under his skirt.
Man's wearing a skirt, and Jean-Claude says, "Scotland, this is all improv."
Yeah.
And then Harrison says something about raise up the skirt. I want to see if he's got any drawers on.
Did I say that?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Thank God I did.
You
Yes.
just came up with it on the spot. It's a great one.
But I'm also a JKD guy, so Jeet Kune Do. And the funny thing, as a fighter, and then having to go this way, it was like, oh man, you're killing me. I'm doing this. It was so unnatural.
Who told you had to do that?
Somebody here.
Michelle?
You have to look Scottish.
You had to look
So
Scottish.
I come in like this, which is so unnatural for me. I want to turn them in and do this, but I'm doing this, which was difficult, but
Good.
yeah, it was fun. It was a fun
the
fight.
kilt, you know, with the.
Well, the kilt,
kilt.
my favorite story about the kilt, other than I've never worn one, it was weird. Thank God I had underwear on. On one of our breaks, one of the background guys comes up to me and he says, I have this girl who really wants to meet you. Great, man, cool. So she goes, I feel as though I know you really well. And I go, okay, why? She goes, I'm sitting in that Cadillac. I go, and she says, every time Jean-Claude throws you, your legs go like this, and the Cadillac's here. So she's looking right at my skirt. I'm like, oh my God. So every time we did that, I'm like, and here it comes. Here comes the throw. Oh no, here it is. And that girl's getting, she's looking right at my skirt. So
It's good for a change.
yeah, it was good for a change. Yeah, it was good. But I had a blast. That was my first, I would consider that my first big film ever.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Help me, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I
it was
think
great.
we spent most of these fights. We spent 2 days on the fights.
Yeah.
I think the fight itself we spent 2 days on, and then there was the preliminary stuff, cars driving up and all that.
Yeah.
That might have been a third day.
Yeah.
We actually had a good schedule on Lionheart. People don't get schedules like this anymore. I've got a couple of producers here who want to make a movie with me, and I got to tell you guys, we had 40 days. Okay, we had 40 days on this. Is a low-budget movie. I think that the budget, I think was somewhere in the neighborhood. What's that?
Which turned out to be huge.
Turned out to be huge, but the budget. Of course, this is 30 years ago. All right, but we shot in L.A. And we shot. We even shot Union. It wasn't DGA, but we shot Union, and we had 40 days. We even shot in. We went to Las Vegas for a week for those those Foreign Legion scenes in the desert. we built a Foreign Legion camp just outside of Las Vegas and spent a couple days in Las Vegas. So, this is, you know, huge production.
We actually have to do a signing, so let's. I mean, that's kind of just. I mean, kind
Oh,
of.
we're kind of.
Well, we want to give everyone time to. You know, we got to move the chairs and get the signing a little bit, but just kind of like, you know, their thoughts of. You think of LionHeart, what do you think of Pac? Let's just kind of go down the line and then we'll start
LionHeart?
signing. Yeah, LionHeart, we're only the strong because you've worked with Sheldon a couple times.
Well,
So.
the LionHeart's a great picture. I really like it. Jean-Claude did a really good job, you know, putting things. Harrison, like I said, the two characters, they combine together to do this. Jean-Claude becomes very likable, very sensitive in his scenes. So it was really cool, but it was thanks to what he did as a complement to the perfect. Only the Strong was a great film. It took us, me and Frank Dukes went earlier to cast the fighters, the people that were going to be in the film. And, you know, we have a really good time. It's awesome to be in the Hall of Fame too, in Miami too. It's a place just like Hollywood, but in Miami, it's the Hall of Fame too. And it was a good experience. Yeah. I love what it's true.
Me too.
I tried for a while to try to produce number 2, but it didn't work out. I'm never going to give up.
That's right. That's right. The story of these movies is about having heart, right? And going for it. Harrison, thoughts on just what you think of LionHeart? And people talk to you about LionHeart. What do you think of?
Oh, well, you know, this is what, 30 years ago, and you know, the fight scenes. I mean, you look at those fight scenes and you think, holy shit, they're good. And we didn't have CGI in those days. You know, these were stunts, and it was wonderful to watch. Right. The fact that they could camera-wise and really make it look real, like the Paco scene. I was in the scene, but I was up there on the side of the pool, you know, making a lot of noise. But I just think the fights are just fantastic. Now, what drew me to it was always the love story, him and me and the love story, how it builds. It's rare to have a
Romance.
Yeah, bromance.
Love story. It's a bromance.
Now, in my head, it's a love story.
Okay. All right.
Jesus Christ. So yeah, no, it was a terrific film. And we went to Germany, and it was a bunch of people there in Germany going, "Oh, what a wonderful film!"
We had people from all over Europe, actually. They had an event in Germany for the Blu-ray release, a special edition in Germany. And we had, it was like 3 times as many people. And that they came from all over Europe. They didn't just come from Germany. There were people from France and Italy. One thing I wanted to say about the fights in LionHeart that you don't see nowadays, we didn't use any stunt doubles. There were no stunt people at all. When you see, and actually Jean-Claude, you know, he got hurt more than anybody. You know, he put his
hand through the window. Yeah.
Put his hand through the window. We had to shut down for about an hour. They had to put stuff on his hand to stop the bleeding, but he actually punched through glass. And then when we're doing the pool fight, they were off. First of all, it was really tough in a swimming pool because the swimming pool, it's slanted, it's not straight. It's a kind of the surface, and it was a little bit wet because there was water in the deep end of the pool. So it was really hard for these guys to hit their marks perfectly, and they were off just by a fraction of an inch. And Paco gave him one of those kicks, and it's hard to aim one of those capoeira kicks. But Jean-Claude got whacked in the side of the face, and we had to shut down again for like an hour because when Paco kicks you, you feel it. All right, there was no stunt people, no CGI, no wires, nothing like that. He got whacked, and we had to put ice on his face to get the swelling down. Finally, when it got down enough so he wouldn't really notice it, we got back into doing the fight scene.
I would like to comment. You know, Jean-Claude he's a really fighter too. He likes to fight. So we were in the pool, and he says, throw me the kick, man. Throw me the kick. I said, hey, Jean-Claude, I'm going to hit you. Throw me the kick, and wow, you know, he didn't mind taking the kick. You know, he's a real man. Yeah.
If you're gonna be a real fighter, not a movie fighter, and then look, you guys know this too. If you're afraid of getting hit, if you don't want to get hit, find some other profession.
Yeah, that's why we do comedy.
What's that?
That's why we do comedy.
Right. Yeah, there you go. But you got to be able to take a hit, and it's actually part of the process. You're going to get hit. Just be aware that's going to happen. We had like a few people got whacked when we were shooting. Did you and Tony Satch? I don't think it was any unintentional hit for that one, and that was brutal. It looked really brutal.
He was really good. We worked on that. We worked on that a lot though, with that safety though.
Mm-hmm.
The safety was important, and I was swinging for the fences on it.
We had this other guy, Voyo. It was Michelle's
Oh, yeah.
partner in the movie. This big Yugoslavian guy named Voyo Goric. And Voyo is really, he's like a human rhinoceros. This guy was so strong, and he was also in another one of my movies called Ruskies. He was in Rambo 2. He's the guy that fights with Stallone inside the helicopter and then gets thrown out by Stallone. But this guy was just a beast. And there's this one scene where Michelle and Voyo catch up to Jean-Claude, and Jean-Claude grabs onto a pole and he kicks Voyo in the chest. They do it once. It doesn't look very good. I said, hey guys, we got to do this again. And Voyo says, Jean-Claude, you have to really kick me. No, Voyo, look, if I really kick you, you're going to get hurt. No, you're not going to hurt me. You have to really kick me. So Jean-Claude does it. He grabs the pole, and it's a double with both feet, kicks Voyo in the chest.
And it looks good.
And when you see the movie, you see we didn't have like talcum powder on his clothes like they do in a lot of the Hong Kong movies. So you see dust flying. This dust goes flying off of his clothes because Jean-Claude really whacks him. And had he done it to me or just about anybody else in this room, you would have went flying back. But Voyo didn't go flying back, but Voyo he got knocked back a bit. It was like kicking a rhinoceros. And then after I say cut, Voyo says to Jean-Claude, much better. And it looked great. It looked real.
So, Michelle, this is after years you've been in California, you've left the safety of home, and now this film comes out and does really well. Kind of what are your memories of that time period, and just kind of like when you're in the business and Jean-Claude's doing really well, you see your friend doing really well.
LionHeart, I feel just blessed to be part of that movie. Bloodsport, Kickboxer, all those movies, I really feel extremely lucky and blessed to be in those movies, because still today we did those movies in 1986, Bloodsport, which Sheldon also wrote Bloodsport, and Kickboxer we did it in 1987. Sheldon again helped on the screenplay, and then LionHeart in 1989. So those movies still today people talk about it. After 30 years.
That's why all these folks are here.
So I feel really blessed, and something which I feel also very happy about it is so many young people all over the world when they saw those movies. Like said Paco, because of course the exceptional physique and martial arts ability of Jean-Claude, so many kids out there went from the street to the dojo. So I think that's beautiful. That's wonderful. I mean, we really did save life without really knowing, but we did.
And inspired me as a child.
Yeah.
So there we are still. Jeff, I know this kind of led to you did some moves with PM Entertainment after this, right?
Yeah. The one thing about LionHeart, one thing is that I said, thank you God I can pay my rent. When I walked out, I said, I had So anyway, just a
Well,
little.
you were Lawrence Bender, you know?
Yeah, you pay rent. Trying in Hollywood, but the part, like, you know, it was like a kind of a quirky part, but it was awesome part. And when Jean-Claude, we were at the kickboxing thing at the Palladium, Jean-Claude said to me, we got to picked up. I said, pick up what? What are you talking about, man? He goes, we got picked up, you gotta go into looping. I go, loop what? What's that? You know, I didn't know, I'm young and stuff, and then made more money in the looping, by the way, than I did the initial movie. You know,
Did we loop your line?
yeah, we looped it because we looped it from I don't know if I should fight you to I don't like to swear in front of ladies. Please. I said kiss you for the PG. Remember? We had to do that. We had to.
Oh, right, for the
so
TV version.
Yeah, so we had to do it for the TV to
Right.
instead of doing whatever to him, I got to kiss him now. But let me tell you, if anybody's in here an aspiring actor, what I can tell you is that you get a part like that. That got me a 3-picture deal with PM Entertainment. I starred with Lorenzo Lamas. I started with Sam Jones. He was, what was it, the greatest?
Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon. And then I did one with OJ. So they got me like 3 pictures, and I went on to work for Sly for 25 years and TV shows and stuff. But LionHeart was the predecessor for me as an actor to go to acting school. And I went to acting school for 4 years.
Christian's getting ready. He's getting his stuff ready. My boy Brendan's ready.
I got my stuff. I got my Kickboxer 1 and 2, because hopefully one day I'll get Sasha Mitchell on there.
There you go.
And then, of course, the LionHeart one.
Of course.
Bam.
Absolutely. Nice. He's almost ready? He's got some DVD covers. Look at him. I got my stuff. I'm ready to go, man. Let's do this. Let's do it.
I love that audition. That's fantastic.
I can't shake hands.
My son,
Don't take the chance.
Oh, look at this guy's t-shirt.
It's kickboxing. I know.
Just sign it. Okay.
You want it to be in the blue? I think I better use the gold.
How you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Good. It's exciting, huh? Let's see. DVD there.
What's your name?
Alfonso. Yeah, you can just sign your name. It's okay. There's not enough room.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, sure. Great.
Thank you for coming out. This is awesome.
Great. Thank you very much.
Really are the emotional core of that entire film.
Yeah, it had everything, didn't it? It had the fighting, it had the...
Yeah, but you did a really good job of grounding the story, you know? And it's crazy, there's everything that world is.
Yeah.
Really,
Awesome. Thank you so much.
kept
Appreciate
everything level.
it. Thank you. This is awesome. This is so exciting.
You were probably 100,000 people.
Probably one of the best fight scenes of you in the pool.
Thank you.
Yeah, the capoeira style, slow with the kick with your long hair.
Oh, yeah.
It was really cool.
We have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We did it in Malibu,
Uh-huh.
and it was very cold.
Oh, okay.
It was windy and stuff. So Jean-Claude got flu for
Did you really?
2-3 months. Yeah.
They weren't kidding about him getting hurt and sick all the time, huh, in the movie? Yeah.
You know what? When we do the martial arts, the film, the choreography,
Right.
you gotta be very professional.
Right.
You gotta be very timing, very perfect.
That makes sense.
One mistake,
Right.
no good.
It's true.
It's no good.
That's true. I hear you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Okay.
That was growing up in that movie, like that's how I connected with the story.
Did you see it when it was first released, or did
You
you
gonna
see it
take off?
later?
First release, I was a little boy. I was watching
5? Were you 5?
I was young.
Yeah?
Yeah, I had no age limit when it came to watching movies. My dad took me to all the JC movies when I was a little boy. I saw LionHeart in the cinemas. A little boy. Yeah.
So you an actor?
I do. I aspire. I do a lot of stunt work and stuff like that, but I do a lot of that and I dance as well. So.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah,
So you're doing all that stuff. You're doing all that.
Just a signature?
Yes, sir, if you don't mind. Yeah, there's not enough room in there if you don't mind. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for coming out. I really appreciate it.
I gotta ask you. Orange County.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You might sign this one too if you don't mind. You know that famous line that you say in the movie, me and my friend still quote it to this day, when we'd go to lunch together, right?
Yeah.
And we look at each other, we pretend like we have no money.
Yeah.
And what he goes, I'll get you back in LA. We still say that to this day from that movie, absolutely, every time.
Because you know the guy don't have no money, and he ain't gonna get anybody
Exactly.
back in LA.
Like my favorite shot is when you kind of look at the guy that made the food, and you're like, give him the check, and he gives the check.
Yeah, yeah.
It's hilarious.
It's right on point, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, do you mind saying that to my friend Frankie?
It's okay. Hey, I'll get you back in LA, man.
That was awesome. Thank you so
I ain't
much.
got a dime, but I'll get you back.
But he was right. You are the emotional core. You in the relationship, it's amazing. Like, it's just a great I say bromance, but you hold it down for sure. Like, absolutely.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You're very charismatic, and it's a lot of. That role must have been a lot of fun.
It was a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it was letting it all happen.
Mm-hmm.
As an actor, let all that stuff take place. The stuff that people go, well, like he was saying, bromance.
Right.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. I can't go in and say this is a bromance.
Exactly.
I got a bromance with women. This is a love story. Oh,
right.
If something happens here, it starts from here, where they don't like each other.
Right.
It goes into
They need you.
you need to. And all the weeping and stuff, that's about loving. That's about loving the friend, you know.
Yeah. Oh, it came out good. Another line that me and my other friends say is, we'll see like a phone booth. They're like, what, you don't like my phone, cuz? What, you don't like my phone? He's like, no, it's not that blood. He's like, we say that.
Do you?
Yes, that's my other friend, yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so this movie is very quotable, to say the least. Yes.
And all you guys, you're not really that old enough to have seen the original.
No, we watched it on VHS.
On VHS?
Yes.
After
The actual release, yeah. I was only able to see it on VHS. I was a good friends with the guy at the video store. He hooked me up.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right.
But yeah, that one's a favorite. Because there's no more phone booths. Like, you can't say that line anymore. You know what I mean?
No, you can't, because
Yeah.
there's no more.
There's no more. See?
Yeah, you can't say, hey, you don't like my cell phone.
That's right. How you doing, sir? Thank you so much for coming out. Really appreciate this. This is awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yes. Huge fan. Like I said, I owned it on VHS, watched it numerous times. This in Double Impact.
Oh, all right.
Yes. And it's funny, he kept saying about the hair and all the promotion posters because it reminds me of his character Alex in Double Impact with the slick back hair.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
What's your name? I should put this one, Christian.
A very quotable line, like I was just telling Mr. Page, like we still quote this movie to this day. You know?
You know what? I have met a bunch of people who say the same thing. They use quotes.
I want you to be excited that you got his signature, okay?
Okay.
One more. Sheldon, smile.
Thank you so much.
Karen.
Keeps you healthy.
Like from Double Impact, I'll tell my friend, like, somebody's wearing a nice shirt, I'm just like, ooh, son the jacket. I don't know why. It stuck to me head as a little kid. And I still say that to this day. I don't know why. It's just
Yeah,
like a
that guy, yeah, he was an interesting character.
Yeah.
He ad-libbed that.
Thank you guys for coming out. Like, this is so cool.
This is yours, correct?
Yes, yeah.
I signed it.
Yes, appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was this yours?
Yes, mine too. Yes, sir.
Oh, I signed that
You already
already.
did too.
Okay,
Yeah,
there
thank
you
you
go.
so much. I really appreciate it.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you. Let's see, how you doing, sir? How are you?
Excellent. How are you doing?
I know a little bit French. I took French in freshman year. All I know is je m'appelle Alfonso. Je ne sais pas. Est-ce que tu parles français? And that's it. That's my extent.
Enchanté de faire ta connaissance.
When you said that, yeah, I was like,
I said, nice to meet you.
yes, there we go. Now I remember that. Thanks for coming out. I really appreciate it. This is awesome.
What is your name?
Alfonso, sir.
Yeah.
A-L-F?
A-L?
Uh-huh. F? O-N-S-O.
I'm gonna sign this good one.
Awesome. And then I think I got one for my friend and one for myself, if you don't mind.
Sure, my pleasure.
Great.
Like martial arts and training.
Alfonso here. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was the only boy, little girls in the family. So my grandfather, he liked me. He took me everywhere since I was 4. And the first I started doing boxing when I was 5.
This one for?
That one's for my friend Donaldo.
R
D-O-N.
D. D.
That's not a Bruce Lee movie.
D-O-N. O-N.
O-N. D-O-N.
Yes,
You
O-N.
like that? He's Italian.
N, yes, N-A.
Do you have a favorite martial
L.
What?
D-O.
What time is it now? Ronaldo.
You don't have any other
Yeah, you have time.
And did you do work on Cyborg as well?
Yeah,
You guys can go over there.
I
I'll
did
meet you when I'm
stand there. I don't know if you remember the last fight with Vince Klein.
Yeah.
You know, that fight scene?
Yes.
I did the stunt.
Okay.
You know,
Very cool.
And I fall down on the table,
Yes.
so I put the same hair.
Oh, the same everything?
And then I was, of course, more like coaching Jean-Claude.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. Because that was like
helping
one of
him
the
the
first
best
one
I
you guys did, right? Yeah.
Cyborg actually was after Bloodsport.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
After Bloodsport.
That's right.
After
And then Breaking too,
No
right? When you
Retreat,
guys
No
in Breaking?
Surrender.
Oh, Row Retreat. That's right.
Breakdance.
Breaking, yes.
You see us as extra
Right.
in 1984.
I remember seeing that dancing move. Yes, sir.
glad you came with that.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me come.
Thank you guys, sir, for signing my Blu-ray here.
You're welcome.
The director of LionHeart, man. And what is your favorite martial art movie that
Thank you
did
so
direct?
much. I really appreciate it. Did you sign this one? I can't remember.
I didn't direct Bloodsport.
This one for you. How you doing, sir?
How you doing?
I'm great. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming out. This is great.
Think about that.
Yeah, one of the favorite classic lines as well.
Hey, so how do you want me to do? Just I'm gonna put my name on it.
If you absolutely, yes,
Okay,
sir.
how about this? So if you ever want to sell it or something,
I have one.
no, I'm serious. You know.
Number it.
There you go. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. That's right. That's right.
Number 1.
And you count like a Better Tomorrow? Is that?
Yeah, that's actually really good.
I love Better Tomorrow.
There you go.
Love it. Thank you so much.
With your signature.
Absolutely. Yeah, the only signature on now. There's not that much room. How you doing, sir? Thank you
how
so
are
much
you?
for coming out. I really appreciate it.
On Facebook.
I'll take a card here, Langton Boxing. Thank you so much. Awesome.
Is that it?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys.
You're welcome.
You guys had great stories. That was so much fun.
Okay.
There you go.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Can we sign that?
Yeah, absolutely. If you don't mind.
Well, I'm making a mess. You guys are all clear.
Can't take you anywhere. Look at him. Look at him. He's out of control.
Thank you so much.
Hey, no worries. Thanks for
Absolutely.
coming out.
I know. I'm saying you didn't bring the kilt with you. I was hoping you rocked
No,
the kilt.
believe me, I'll never. No. Hey, you pay me, I'll put it back
All
on.
right.
But man, how uncomfortable.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Gosh, you pulled it off though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It worked, but man, it was uncomfortable.
I
I,
bet.
gotta tell you that.
Hey, well, lady got the free show, so
Yes, she did.
she'll never forget that.
Never heard from her again. Wasn't that good a show, apparently.
I'm maybe not. Thank you so much.
All right, look at it.
Dude, what a fantastic event that was, huh, guys?
Dude,
Dude,
we just got, Michelle's or Michael's, whatever, his phone number, Tom Poe's phone number, bro.
Poe's phone number. He entered it on my phone. He's like, hey, give me a call sometime. I was like, what? I took a shot of the ribs from him, dude. I'm still standing, so I'm like, hey, I can take on Tom Poe. Brendan said he can take Tom Poe.
But the thing is, he wants to work with us.
He does.
He wants to work with us on stuff.
Yes, he wants us to promote his stuff on our YouTube channel.
That was pretty freaking crazy.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
the signing was great. The stores we heard were fantastic. The Blu-rays even loaded with features. Like
Dude,
it's
bro,
right.
Bruh.
Look at that. Look at
Bruh.
that. That's how cool that looks.
That's what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
bro.
So I'll remember at the end to talk about all the stuff I got signed because I always forget to do that at the very end, right?
Yeah,
So
you do.
remember that. Yeah. So I'll do that. I'll do that when I get home tonight. But dude, that LionHeart, this is a class. Like I said, he's a Street Fighter. Just the stories. All the actors that came out were so cool, telling us the stories about it.
Yep.
If you guys haven't seen LionHeart, you gotta check it out. At least check out this Blu-ray release because it's got loaded features. It's a classic. Everyone that's in it was just great.
First of all, if you haven't checked it out already, I don't know what the hell you're doing.
That's true. You
Like,
should have already seen it like
seriously.
100 times. It's a cult classic.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
It's
director.
essential.
Yes, it is absolutely. Yeah, full Van Damage. It's all, dude. It's
Like
all
one of the
over
most quotable freaking movies of all
Seriously, I was telling all the actors like how much I still quote it to this day, and it was just great. But dude, I'm such a high because we were just talking to Tong Po like we're like friends, man. Like Brendan's got like 7 minutes full of footage just with him, and,
I know, yeah.
and then that other guy chimed in your video. I don't know how much you can use that with that. I thought it was great.
That might be trimmed down a little.
I was gonna say maybe.
The thing is,
yeah.
but he's an actor.
I saw that. Yeah, he handed his card to him too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hey, we're all actors too, right? We can be in the next movie, right?
You never know what happens, man.
Hey, dude, right?
When we roll with the Monster Squad
There you go.
and or the crew,
That's right.
we roll hard, son.
That's right, absolutely.
I got it right?
You did.
Okay,
No, you
cool.
got it right this time.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
did good.
Okay,
So yeah,
thank you.
links to all their
I'll probably
videos.
fuck up again, too.
No, links to all their videos in the description. They'll be all in there, you know. But what do you guys think, man? You guys have fun?
Oh, I
It's
love
fucking
it,
dope, dude.
Right?
Well, probably
Dark
one of the best
Delicacies.
events.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So Sue, Dell, don't ever leave, please.
No.
You know.
But if
Stay.
you do leave and you do move, we'll come and support you either way.
Absolutely. Let us
Yeah.
know. We'll be there.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. No question. That's right. So, all right, man. Another adventure, another great video, another awesome signing at Dark Delicacies.
Now stay tuned for another like 10 minutes of him showing you all the shit he got signed.
That's right. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, I won't forget this time.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So I just got back from Burbank, and I just want to thank Dell and Sue for another great event at Dark Delicacies today. Such a fun show. Always fun hanging out with Christian and Brendan, Wetmovie1. It was a nice surprise, him showing up. Yeah, so all the guests, the director, all the actors, thank you guys for showing up. That was tremendous. I mean, seeing that movie as a kid and now like being able to hang out and like talk to the people that were in the movie, that was a trip. I mean, it was really cool. But let me just show you what all the stuff I got signed, and then I'll talk a little bit more about them. But just wanted to thank everyone that was there and was a big part of it. And also I want to thank everyone that subscribed to my channel as well. You guys are awesome. Thank you for, you know, following along in my wacky adventures of stuff that I do, and you guys like watching them. So thank you. Really appreciate that. Without any further ado, let me show you what I got. For first thing I got signed, it's the whole reason we were there for the signing is the MVD Rewind Collection Van Damme Classic LionHeart, directed by Sheldon Langtich. And I love the stickers. Be kind, remember to rewind, 2-day rental. It's got all these cool, like, it's got like the wear and tear on the covers. But yeah, as you can see, special collector's edition Blu-ray and DVD. The streets are a jungle. Here can only be one king. So yeah, I got everyone to sign on there right there. Check that out. And this thing, man, is loaded with special features. I'm talking about loaded. I'm talking loaded. Like, it's just incredible. So if you guys seen this movie, you know, 100 times like I have, like the real Street Fighter, not that crappy one, that Street Fighter one he made. This is it. He was actually a Street Fighter. Yeah, definitely pick out yourself a copy of this. I can't wait to get into all those bonus features. I mean, look at that. I mean, there's just tons of them. So it's really cool. I mean, look at that 47-minute one documentary, new LionHeart, the inside story in HD, featuring interviews with cast and crew. So yeah, super excited to get that. And it just looks cool, all the signatures on it, so that's awesome. And then also get this cool little LionHeart poster, 11x17, signed by everyone as well. There you go. Yeah, they came out nice. So just so cool, everyone that was able to show up and was there. Came to the signing. The director of LionHeart, not only did he direct Van Damme's LionHeart, but he also directed Double Impact. Yeah. Chad and Alex, two twin brothers torn apart by violence on a mission of revenge. One packs a punch, one packs a piece. Together, they deliver Double Impact. If you guys seen this movie, this is classic Van Damme movie. I've watched numerous times. Bolo Young is the bad guy. You know, they play twin brothers. This is a great movie. If you haven't seen this one too, Double Impact. Stoked to get that signed. And got these 8x10s signed by Mishuki Tong Po himself. Look at that. So it takes my boy Christian, aka Weapon X, fucking hooking these up. Look at that. Tong Po. 2 hours of makeup right there to get that look. Yeah. Came out awesome. Not only that, but also got this one. I got this one for my buddy Donaldo for his birthday. It's pretty cool. He quotes this movie just as much as anybody I know, so this one came out nice. Got that as well. So Jeff Langton, that was in the movie in LionHeart, who played Sonny, one of the fighters. He also did some stunt work for Die Hard 2. I got this on VHS. He signed it right there, Blue Light Team. That's who he was, Blue Light Team. I believe he was a SWAT member in this one. So yeah, got him to sign that. And also, he also worked on Cobra. So I got him a Cobra Blu-ray signed as well with him. So, yeah, pretty stoked. Nice little stash right there. So that's all the stuff I got signed and at the LionHeart Blu-ray DVD signing at Dark Delicacies in Burbank. Another great signing. Del and Sue, you guys, do a tremendous job. So keep up the great work. And thank everyone, all the actors that showed up, and the director, and even some producers, and even some foreign press was there. It was pretty cool. I mean, it was a fun event. It was, I don't know, it was way more fun than I thought it was going to be. I don't know why. I mean, I always have fun at all these events, but for some reason, like, I'm such a big martial arts fan growing up as a kid, and seeing Van Damme movies as a kid. Never in a million years would I think I'd be hanging out with them and talking and tell them how much I quote those movies, and I still quote them to this day. And I was able to tell them that, and as you saw in the video, and I was just having a blast. I grew up watching Van Damme movies, and then just transition. I mean, you pretty much watch all the martial artists: Bruce Lee, and then Jackie Chan, Jet Li, Tony Jaa. You go from The Raid. I mean, you just keep you keep finding another actor. Brandon Lee being in The Crow, my favorite movie of all time. It's just as an 80s kid, you go to a video store, you get a video, you'd want to watch the next martial arts movie, and then the next one they had. So I was hanging out, talking to Tong Po. I mean, I'm hanging out with them. It's crazy. Like, it was insane. I got to share with my boy Christian and Brendan, so that's always fun. So just lots of fun memories being made, and yeah, I couldn't have been happier for that event. So that was a good Father's Day gift for sure. Yeah, so hope you guys enjoy this video, and thanks again for subscribing, and till the next event, we'll see. Thanks for watching. See you.